Understanding the relationship between offset accounts and loan repayments. Hi Andre, I've been thinking, can you explain how exactly having funds in my offset account will impact my loan repayments?
That's a great question, Mary. I am happy to give you a brief overview of this relationship. You are already aware that having funds in an offset account can have a significant impact on your loan repayments. Consider this example. Essentially, the balance in your offset account is offset against your mortgage balance, which means you'll only pay interest on the difference between the two.
That's interesting. So, if I transfer my savings to my offset account, will my repayments reduce?
To answer that, first you need to understand that there are two types of repayments that can be selected for your home loan: principal and interest only.
I see. Can you start by explaining how will funds in my offset account have any impact on my interest-only repayments?
Of course, Mary, you already know that interest-only repayments involve paying only the interest portion of the loan for a set period, typically 5 years. This means that during this time, the loan balance doesn't reduce. For instance, if you have $500,000 in mortgage outstanding balance at the start of the period and have interest-only repayments set up for 5 years, at the end of year 5, you still owe $500,000 in mortgage debt for that property. This approach is often used for investment properties or during times of financial constraint, but it's important to understand that it doesn't decrease the loan amount itself. Now, if you have an offset account linked to your interest-only loan, here is how it works. The interest charge is based on the reduced loan balance after offsetting. This means that having funds in an offset account can lower the amount of interest that you will need to pay towards your interest-only loan. Since your repayments only cover interest, the more money you have in your offset account, the lower your monthly repayments will be.
That's quite interesting. Now, how about the other repayment type? How will funds in my offset account have any impact on my principal and interest repayments?
Well, Mary, principal and interest repayments work differently. Allow me to give you a brief overview of that. In my next example, the minimum repayment amount of your principal and interest loan will be represented by this gray rectangle. As the name suggests, there are two components to this type of repayment, which involves paying off both the borrowed amount, also called principal, and the borrowing cost, also known as accrued interest. It is important to remember that the minimum repayment amount will not reduce regardless of how much funds you have in your offset account. Instead, they will increase or decrease depending on the interest rate applicable to your loan.
Okay, Andre. But how can I see the actual benefits of having an offset account linked to my principal and interest loan if it does not reduce my actual loan repayments?
Well, Mary, as discussed, the funds in your offset account will impact the interest portion of your repayment. In other words, the more money you keep in your offset account, the lower your loan balance will be for interest calculation, which means you'll pay less interest on each repayment. As it doesn't seem to have immediate benefits, you will see meaningful benefits in the long run. With a reduced interest burden, more of your repayments will be allocated towards reducing the principal amount borrowed, accelerating the loan repayment process entirely. This will ultimately reduce the loan balance quicker, potentially shortening the overall term of the loan. This means you will pay off your loan sooner.
That's fantastic. It sounds like having funds in the offset account can really help me save money and pay off my loan sooner. Is there anything else I should consider?
It's important to remember that the effectiveness of an offset account depends on factors such as the balance in the account and the interest rate applicable to your loan. Additionally, some lenders may charge fees for offset accounts, so it's essential to review the terms and conditions carefully to understand any costs involved.
Thank you for explaining how the funds in my offset account impact my loan repayments, Andre. It has certainly given me a better understanding of how I can use my offset account in my advantage.
You're welcome, Mary. Offset accounts can be a powerful tool for saving money on interest and paying off your loan sooner. If you have any further questions, or if you'd like to discuss offset accounts in more detail, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help.